Oi, it's Billy Butcher in the house, people. Butcher might have introduced himself as an independent contractor to Huey Campbell at the start, but the boys' show is proof that there's much more to this guy than meets the eye. Billy Butcher hates the Supes and their chemically acquired superpowers so much that he's willing to give up his own beliefs and turn into one of them, only to take the Supes down. And he does exactly that in Season 3. Billy Butcher gets himself some of the V24 compound and temporarily develops some badass superpowers, including laser eyes and superhuman abilities, prompting him to exclaim, "For once, I've leveled the effing playing field." But the Season 4 finale came with a shocking reveal about Butcher's latest feat, chest tentacles. In this video, we will explore some of Butcher's most intriguing abilities that make him the unique character he is. So let's get going. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Sentient tumor activation. This is quite a striking development in Season 4, when a sentient tumor is revealed to be the activation switch of Billy's superpowers. In the last season, in order to match the might of the powerful Supes, Billy Butcher acquired V24, an experimental version of Compound V that grants him superpowers for 24 hours. The V24 has a deadly side effect. After 4 or 5 doses, it's said to cause brain lesions, and eventually, Butcher got diagnosed with a cancerous brain tumor that will end his life. To avoid death, Billy secretly got himself a shot of the Compound V that not only enhanced his abilities and gave him mysterious superpowers, but also accelerated his disease and seemingly turned his cancerous tumor sentient. In Season 4, the cancerous growth appears to be a worm-like organism seen crawling under his face, around his temple. This tiny, creepy parasite seemed to trigger Billy's new superpowers, which was seen in Episode 4 during the fight with Ezekiel. When Ezekiel locks Butcher in a chokehold, the worm squiggles around his forehead, and soon after the screen goes dark, Butcher blows up Ezekiel into bits with a crunching noise. Some theories suggest that the sentient worm activates the destructive powers in Billy when he's under attack. Compound V seems to have triggered a symbiotic bond between the worm and Butcher, because as he was about to die from Ezekiel's attack, the worm alerted Butcher and set off his powers that were strong enough to cause a Supe like Ezekiel to explode. Another interesting development is that Butcher gets hallucinations of his old friend Joe Kessler and his dead wife Becca. Butcher experiences these hallucinations as a result of his cancer, aka the wriggling parasite in his head, and his new powers are directly linked to these figments of his imagination. In the Season 4 finale, Kessler tells Butcher that it is he who triggered the attack on Ezekiel. Kessler and Becca represent the inner turmoil of Billy Butcher. While Kessler wants to unleash a deadly virus to eliminate Supes, Homelander included, Becca thinks killing Homelander and starting genocide isn't worth it. Chest tentacles. By the end of Season 4, Billy Butcher is in bad shape as he is dying from cancer and continues to have the triggering hallucinations. But in the final moments of the finale episode, Butcher shows up at the meeting between the manipulative Victoria Newman and the members of the boys. Victoria is about to join the boys briefly to take down Vought International and Homelander, in exchange for clearing her freshly tainted reputation. But Butcher crashes the meeting looking all healthy and fine. He shoves Huey out of the way, and now comes the big reveal. Butcher unleashes several fleshy, sinewy tentacles from his chest that wrap around Victoria and tear her apart, quite literally. The snarling tentacles have pointy edges, which Butcher retracts into his chest after killing Victoria. Earlier in Episode 5, Butcher encounters a V'd-up lab bunny that was close to dying when it suddenly sprouted squealing tentacles from its stomach. Now we know that was a premonition of Butcher's fate. It seems that the cancerous growth triggered by V24 mutates into a venom-like tentacled entity inside the host, who remains alive long enough for it to thrive. Butcher may have stomped the tentacle bunny menace to death in Episode 5, but he's sprouted retractable appendages of his own, which can be both a boon and a curse. Only time will tell. Heat vision. When the poster of Season 3 teased Billy with glowing eyes, fans knew what was coming. Under the influence of the V24 compound, Billy could release concentrated beams of yellow energy from his eyes, whose destructive powers can slice through any human, most Supes, and annihilate mostly anything. In Season 3, Episode 6, Billy joined the fight between Soldier Boy and Homelander, and sent his archenemy crashing into debris with his heat vision. Billy's heat vision was powerful enough to resist Homelander Homelander's heat beams, which clashed with each other's for several seconds. But Billy was visibly seen grunting in pain while resisting Homelander's beams, which was not the case with the suit. In Season 3, Episode 8, Billy's heat vision was potent enough to deliver a gashing wound on Soldier Boy's face. This suit is almost invincible, only second in might to the Homelander, and Billy's heat vision was able to cut through his skin following a prolonged attack. Moreover, while fighting Gunpowder in the parking lot, an outburst of Billy's heat vision sliced through both Gunpowder's bloody head and his fancy car. Even in the Russian lab in Season 4, Episode 4, Billy surprises everyone by killing the Russian thugs with his heat vision in almost no time. Superhuman strength. Even before Billy's powers were enhanced by V24, he showed extraordinary strength while fighting against the Supes. He managed to subdue Translucent in an epic hand-to-hand combat, wield the sledgehammer to destroy Becca's headstone, and choke Jock to death. As a former Marine, and having been trained by CIA's Grace Mallory, Butcher is way stronger than a regular person and in peak physical condition, which was further amped up by the V24 compound, granting him superhuman strength. Empowered by the V24, Butcher can now crush objects, deliver damaging blows to powerful Supes, and snapping the neck of a man with one hand is just a piece of cake. In his first display of superpowers, Butcher snapped Gunpowder's gun with relative ease and sent him crashing into a wall with just one punch. He even resisted Ryan's own enhanced strength attacks and went toe-to-toe with Homelander and Soldier Boy, thus fighting two of the strongest Supes of the Boys universe. In Season 3's Herogasm episode, Butcher delivers a few impactful punches against Homelander, even being able to hold off his fist for a while. In the final episode of Season 3, Billy even landed a few hard punches on Soldier Boy. He also destroyed Soldier Boy's formidable shield by first burning it up and then punching it to pieces. Superhuman durability. Butcher's strength is complemented by his durability. Even before using V24, Butcher was resilient enough to tolerate blows from Translucent and survive Black Noir's tortures, although that made him bleed. He could revive himself after getting attacked by Stormfront's electrocuting plasma bolts and getting knocked off by an EMP blast. Just like his strength, Butcher's durability too was enhanced by V24, turning his physique into a bulletproof shield. The bullets fired by Gunpowder had no effect on him, which got smashed up against his physique and dropped to the ground, something that surprised both Billy and Gunpowder. Even inside the Russian laboratory, the soldiers spraying him with bullets left him unscathed. He was able to walk into the gunfire and kill them all with his heat vision. Gunpowder's punches also left Billy unbothered, which is no surprise really, as Butcher was able to tolerate blows from both Homelander and Soldier Boy later in the storyline. Butcher remained unfazed when Homelander blasted him with his heat vision, quickly getting up to launch a counterattack while only getting a small cut on the face in the process. Superhuman reflexes. Owing to his former training in the Royal Marines and Special Air Services, and then in the CIA, Billy Butcher has brilliant reflexes. The Temp V further amplified his senses and reaction time by granting him superhuman reflexes. In Season 3, Billy interrupted Homelander's attacks with such precision that the Supe ended up asking Butcher, "What have you done?" Despite Gunpowder being a skilled marksman, Butcher was quickly able to bridge the gap between himself and Gunpowder in favor of a hand-to-hand combat. During his confrontation with Soldier Boy, Billy is able to dodge and counter some of his attacks, which is a huge feat considering Soldier Boy is believed to be the second most powerful Supe. Butcher's heightened reflexes are also seen in his fight against Homelander, when he's able to gauge Homelander's super speed and strength, also while launching counterattacks. Interestingly, shortly before enhancing his abilities with Temp V in Season 3, Episode 1, Billy Butcher showed his peak reflex game by catching a thumb-sized termite in a plastic bag when the Supe was jumping into Frenchie's mouth. Indomitable will. Perhaps the strongest of all of Billy Butcher's traits is his indomitable will. Billy's hatred for the Supes began when he learned from Mallory that Homelander is responsible for his wife Becca's disappearance. Triggered by a video shown by Grace Mallory, Billy vowed to pursue the Supes and take down Vought International, thus joining the CIA Black Ops team, which later became the Boys. Since then, Billy has consistently kept the rogue Supes in check, even at the cost of personal loss or danger to his life. Billy has often thrown himself in deathly situations in order to save Huey or other teammates from the Supes. In Season 1, he saved Huey from Translucent by ramming the Supe with a car and drawing the Supe's attention to him. In Season 2, he endured great torture from Black Noir to negotiate the safety of his wife Becca. He constantly drew Black Noir's attention towards his own self in order to safeguard MM and Huey, who didn't stand a chance against the sinister Supe. Butcher repeatedly engages in encounters against Homelander, fully aware that Homelander is the strongest Supe and can easily finish him off. This stubbornness eventually earned Billy the respect of Homelander. Even when diagnosed with cancer and dying, Billy is resolute in keeping his promise to Becca of keeping her son Ryan safe from the Supes, something that prompts him to break his deal with Soldier Boy and start a fight with the second most powerful Supe. Master Combatant. One of the primary reasons why Butcher was able to defeat Supes even without superpowers of his own is because of his unmatched combat skills. And let's not forget his trusty crowbar. Billy's extraordinary combat skills are no surprise really, given his training history, first by the British Special Forces and then by the CIA, which turned him into a master of hand-to-hand combat and other fighting techniques. Billy's go-to fighting style are boxing techniques, as seen against Translucent, Gunpowder, Mesmer, and then Soldier Boy and Homelander. Billy punches Gunpowder to a pulp, destroying his face in the parking lot. In the washroom scene with Mesmer, Billy punches the telepathic Mesmer with devastating force, and then kills him for his betrayal. Billy is also possibly trained in the martial art form of Goshin Kwai, as it's the fighting style of Special Air Service members, and Billy served in the SAS in the past. Billy's hand-to-hand combat skills are best displayed when he fights Translucent by guessing his presence initially and then finally being able to spot his movements. Expert Marksman. Having served in the Special Forces, Billy Butcher is an expert marksman and is proficient with a variety of weapons, ranging from pistols to snipers. Billy taught his wife Becca how to shoot, showing his confidence as a remarkable marksman. Billy managed to shoot Starlight in the chest twice with his sniper rifle despite firing from quite a distance. He'd almost pulled the trigger on Kenji, but Huey interrupted what would have been a perfect shot. At the Sage Grove Center in Season 2, Billy had to gun down the EMP blast releasing Supe by shooting him in the chest. Butcher's also great at improvising, grabbing unconventional weapons to shoot down enemies. Case in point, a laser-throwing Supe baby. In Season 1, Episode 5, when Butcher got surprise attacked by armed goons at the hospital, he quickly picked up a baby and targeted its beams at the thugs, slicing them up. Don't worry, after the fight was over, he lulled the baby back to sleep and gave it a parting kiss. Master Tactician. Yes, Butcher is all about brute force, heavy punches, and fearless attacks. But he's also a brilliant strategist. Even in the midst of a stressful situation, Butcher is able to think straight and quickly come up with tactics to save the day. In Season 2, Episode 5, when Black Noir is about to kill Huey, Butcher manipulates the Supe by saying he has proof of Homelander's scandalous activities. Butcher tells Black Noir that he knows about Vought International's dirty little secret, about Homelander's secret son, and leverages it to save the lives of everyone in the room. In his face-off against Translucent, Billy is unable to see the Supe and takes several hits, but he quickly devises a plan to spit blood on Translucent so that he can track the blood stains on his body and launch counterattacks. And that works out pretty well, actually. At the start of the series, Huey's girlfriend Robin gets accidentally killed by the speedster Supe A-Train. Soon after, Billy tried to convince Huey into joining his cause of taking down the Supes, but failed. Butcher then tactically manipulated Huey into infiltrating Vought Tower by showing him a video of A-Train joking about Robin's death. As a master tactician, Billy united the boys and inspired them to fight against the corrupt crew of the Seven. Expert Thief. A usual ability that Billy Butcher might want to keep away from his resume is that he's pretty good at stealing stuff, especially when he's doing things while skirting the law. In Season 2, Episode 3, Billy steals the speedboat named My Big Wet Dream to transport Kenji to safety, along with its ownership papers, leading to the epic whale scene that we're going to talk about in just a bit. Butcher was also pretty crafty while acquiring Grace Mallory's ledger. On another occasion, to infiltrate a Supe nursery at a hospital, Billy pickpocketed a nurse's ID with relative ease. Butcher is also great at hot-wiring cars, and he also possibly knows how to pick locks, as he often trespasses into people's homes without creating a ruckus. Skilled boat pilot. Among the many skills possessed by Billy Butcher, he is also a skilled boat pilot, as seen in Season 2, Episode 3. Billy's speedboat operating skills resulted in one of the craziest scenes of the series, in which Billy crashes the boat through a giant whale named Lucy. While trying to evade the deep's shark attacks, Billy rushes his speedboat towards the shore, only to be blocked by the deep emerging on the back of a whale. Instead of changing course, Billy increases the speed and visibly surprises the deep. Butcher then drives the boat through Lucy's stomach, knocking off the deep and getting intertwined in Lucy's organs. Billy impaled Lucy with such force that half of the boat got stuck inside the sea beast. Huey particularly was launched inside Lucy's stomach amidst dripping blood and guts. The infamous whale scene in The Boys is a result of a mechanical whale set on the beach, extensive visual effects, and 150 gallons of fake blood. Marvelous verdict. Even before Billy Butcher got V'd up with superpowers, nothing screamed more savage than Butcher's bloody grin and sassy one-liners. He has come a long way since, getting heat visions and sentient tumors and a bulletproof physique. By the end of Season 4, Butcher had developed tumorous tentacles, making him a badder and meaner force against the Supes. Does that mean Billy Butcher is a permanent Supe now? Please tell us what you think in the comments section below. We promise to come back with more such superpower explorations. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone. See you super soon.